All right, players are ready. We are set to go as soon as our host goes ahead and start the game. We're going to be going directly into match number 1, Moon versus Grubby, the clash of the
big superstars.
Big superstar
players.
Big superstar players.
It's going to be one of the better series of things ever.
They are going to splash of the titles.
Well played, actually. I will take yours over mine. I think that was very well said. In the top middle area, as a son of Ire, we have Grubby. You may have known him formerly as Team Evil Genius's Grubby. He is also known as the Michael Jordan of Warcraft 3, one of the best players of all time. And in the middle right of the map, we do have We Made Moon. You might know him as the Michael Jordan of Warcraft 3, and you're thinking to yourself, why is there 2 of them? They're both that darn good. They're amazing. And he is representing Team We Made. He is a pro gamer, former S-Class, a champion, and this, ladies and gentlemen, is history.
Indeed. Now, we do have a Protoss versus Zerg on Terminus 3. You are the seasoned Protoss, resident Protoss, I should say. And not only that, you are pretty seasoned.
Winning.
I've tasted you quite a bit.
Oh.
And we are going to, well, what can I expect from a PvZ on Terminus 3?
Well, I like this. We already have the pylon going down, kind of at that macro area, if you will. This is usually where units get rallied, or a lot of the production occurs in all 3 matchups. For all 3 races, I guess, not just 3 matchups. This is going to suggest a Forge expand, sometimes Nexus first, depending on how wary you are of opponent's cheese. And we do have this probe already in the Zerg's base, and I like that. So he's going to check, obviously no cheese. He does see the gas go down, and that suggests spawning pool first, which means you're going to want to make that Forge first. Sometimes you can get away with the Nexus first, but that's exceptionally greedy, especially when the Zerg's doing what he's doing, which is roughly a 13 pool. It's a little bit faster than the 15, which means the Lings would get there before the Nexus would finish. But don't tell Grubby that, because actually I'm seeing a dearth of resources building up for him. I want to say he's actually going to do a Nexus first. Now, the timing for that will be a little bit tight. Yep, actually it's going to go ahead and go up to 4 on minerals. It's going to be tight, but I think he can pull it off.
Yeah, we're definitely going to keep an eye on that, as he's going to have to get the Forge.
You know what?
No additional pylon or probe is coming up for Grubby, so he's cutting to get this Forge. And yes, there we go. The Forge does go down.
Pool. Forge just now goes down. It's gonna. I mean, the Forge finishes pretty quick. Lings take about 2 blinks of an eye to build. Only 4 Lings being made, so even if they squeeze through, it wouldn't be the end of the world.
Yeah.
The drones have been pulled off the gas. The metabolic boost upgrade has been initiated.
Yeah, the metabolic boost won't be up in time. And now Grubby, really nicely. I love
wow,
this
is so greedy. But I think it's going to work. Forge finishes. Look at this timing. Grubby, you are such a sultry little minx. Yep, there's that photon cannon does go down. There is a mini wall going on. So actually, I feel like he could even build a pylon to seal this off and really clean up any chance of these Lings doing a lot of damage. Now, the Protoss Nexus is going to finish almost before the Zerg hatchery goes down. Now, there are approximately 40,000 Protoss players out there that are looking at this going, okay, that's pretty cool. I like that.
Oh, and the gateway does go down. Really nice play by Grubby, and is going to be able to get that photon cannon up. Wow, that was
a lot of sad Zerg players out there right now. A lot of sad Zerg players. I can actually feel the weight of Idra's anguish from Sweden at this very moment. His shoulders just got a little bit more downcast.
Oh, really nice.
Gateway does get canceled. Cybernetic Score does complete the wall in. Now, here's the danger. Okay, here's what a Zerg player and a Protoss player... I mean, here's the danger for the Protoss player. He's got to gauge at this moment in time, is the Zerg going to try to all-in me? Is he going to make roaches? Does he Nidus Worm? Where do we go from here? Because if you check the vision of Grubby, all he sees is the spawning pool, and he did get to see that hatchery go down, so he knows that at least the hatchery's been put down, but that can be canceled. The gas could have been remined immediately afterwards, and I believe even his probe has been vanquished from the map, and it indeed has. So he is locked out from information.
Yeah. Indeed, and it's going to be up to him to be able to get that. I think a great response to that is to get that starport, because again, if you don't get something to be able to see what exactly is going on, it's going to be very hard to play going forward. And we do see Grubby looking like he wants to go ahead and build something. Not sure. Actually, a second gateway is going down for
kind of builds up the wall, though. Like, if there was a Baneling bust or something crazy like that, this pylon would be the soft spot in the wall. Another gateway makes that just almost impenetrable for Banelings.
I don't mind that whatsoever.
I do agree. I think the Stargate would have been really good. I'm not seeing it go down. Production tab is not showing go down, so he's going to go an alternate route. But Stargate would allow for a lot of scouting. Also, the Void Ray allows you to thwart kind of like a roach push right now. So Grubby's banking off the fact that there is not a roach push coming out right now. And actually, it's... well, I was about to say fortuitous, but I'm looking at a lot of lings being produced right now. Why are all these lings... Okay, the
Baneling's nest is up. So it looks like a Baneling bus coming in for Moon. 5 Banelings are being...
Oh my god.
Actually, a lot more.
And he's chrono boosting out sentries. This could be really good for Grubby. Or, of course, it could be like really bad for Grubby, but... Warp Gate is... It's got some time left. Oh no! The sentries are pulled back for the Overlord! This could be a trap! Admiral Akbar is flipping out right now from the past. And I think the trap has worked, ladies and gentlemen. The Banelings are pushing forward. They're going to target that forge. And the forge... one does go down!
And the forge is going to go down!
Another forge, but it doesn't seal! And the Zerglings are in. Both the forge, or the sentries in the back are going to go down. Gateway goes down as well. But those cannons are holding.
Yeah,
and they are raging mad at the Zerg right now, and they do.
Oh my god. And Grubby is going to
remake that wall. Wow.
Unbelievable.
And he is actually banking money. Warp Gate has now finished. He's going to go ahead and... Well, actually, Chrono boosted the Warp Gate before it finished. He's got to get sentries out right now. Moon, his time, his window of opportunity is right now. If he doesn't capitalize, he's not quite all in, but I mean, he's almost there. It's like a 99% all in. We're being scientific about it. One certainly does go forward. Sees a lot of sentries back there, and the wall is now sealed again, Greetorbo.
Indeed, Grubby does need to... Oh, more Banelings are going to be coming in here. 2 Banelings go down. Nice sentry force field going down. Going to be able to stop any of those Banelings from going off. Oh, what awesome play.
And Grubby is soundly ahead right now. We still see Zerglings being produced. Now a round of 8 drones being made for the Zerg players, so he's actually given up on this push up until now, and some Lings do get in, but that is not enough. Okay, he's got to get some value out of these Zerglings. They're making their way to the main mineral line. A couple of Zealots do get warped in, and they're going to go for the surround. I don't like that choice. The probes join the fight, and they are easily thwarted. Yeah. And oh my gosh, ladies and gentlemen, we're seeing Moon fall drastically behind due to this cheese opening. Going for the surround on that Stalker. They might just get it, and I think they will. Again, a very, very bad exchange for Moon overall. Grubby's actually taking his 3rd Nexus now.
Moon knows he's a little bit behind, so now he's deciding to drone up. He's playing a little bit risky because he's saying, okay, I cannot worry about this early game anymore. I have to go ahead and play a little bit risky. I know that there is a little bit of timing, but hoping that Grubby doesn't push out. So he is going ahead, drone pumping a lot.
Wow.
We can see just pure drones coming out of him.
He has to.
Grubby, he's already making the robotics bay. That is going to give him the ability to make those Colossus, and Colossus melt the Zerg units.
Even just making drones, he's now at 48, and Grubby is still at 59. He is way ahead in Harvesters. If you look at the Army tab, well, actually, there's almost a... No. It's 1,100 minerals for Grubby. I mean, there's no fast to this game where Grubby is not winning right now. Now, he has to seal the deal. Okay, Moon is still a potent and dangerous adversary. Actually, he's going Spire, and I love this choice. I think this is his only chance to get back in this game. The Mutalisk definitely has potential to do that for him.
I mean, again, as you were saying, I like the Mutalisk as well. It's because that air gives the mobility for Zerg. It allows them to, if Grubby is not defending properly, he can be punished quite well. But hold the thought. Grubby is actually pushing out right now with a
kicked down his own door like some kind of S.H.I.E.L.D. TV show superstar, moving out onto the map, ready to rain in justice. Horatio Kane of Protoss. We have Grubby moving towards the Zerg base, not wasting any time. 2 Spine Crawlers are completed, 4 more are being produced. Zerglings are spouting out of the Zerg.
This is a perfect time.
Grubby doesn't have to commit to this. He should just back away. Forcing this reaction of the Zerg is pain enough. But he wants more. Moving in. Excellent force field. Narrowing down the space for which those Lings can make it through. Grubby is not really reinforcing, so I gotta feel like this is just a poke.
Yeah, definitely. And we can also see in the 6 o'clock position, Moon has gone ahead and made a hatchery down there, so a lot of nice pressure going in by Grubby, forcing, I think the biggest thing was forcing those 4 Spine Crawlers. Forcing that is a lot of minerals. It is 4 drones plus how much the spine crawlers
he's tilting Moon, man. Moon's supply cap right there. He's at 75 supply. Grubby at 124. We do have the air attack upgrade going down for the Zerg. He's also taking his third base, so if the Mutalisk can keep the Protoss at home long enough and force the Protoss into a corner, so to speak, then that is how Moon is going to claw his way back into this game. We do have those Mutalisks making their way to the unsuspecting Protoss base. Grubby did scout with his hallucinated Phoenix, but it did not see anything. Mineral Line being taken advantage of, and Grubby, slow to react, is actually still in the middle of the map. He might do an all-in here.
Indeed, but there are 11 gateways out for Grubby, so Grubby can really mass a lot of units and be able to defend against this. Yes, it is going to push back these 6 Mutalisks. The Mutalisks, this is, as we said before, this is what Moon needs to do. Needs to do this harass type.
Yes.
The guerrilla warfare is so important when you're behind. To claw your way back into the game, you need to be super efficient.
That's a lot of Mutalisks. How the hell did he make that many Mutalisks?
I have no clue, but now the Mutas are coming out here. Only gateway units. You need something more mobile. You don't. Oh,
Blink's
actually, Blink is being researched.
About a quarter of the way.
Yeah.
And that's how you respond to these Mutalisks. It allows for just much better mobility. I don't like this expansion. It looks like Moon's going to exploit it. Grubby trying to take a base closer to the Zerg. I feel like this is extremely vulnerable. And here we go. The Mutalisk just punishing with that mobility. Grubby now down to 3 base. And that's not the end of the world. He's still up a base in terms of saturation. If you look at the Harvester count, he's still up almost 70 to 55. Oh, okay, now 60. He is starting to produce some heaving Moon in the last one. Cannons are going down, so stack defenses are going to establish the security for Moon's economy, or excuse me, Grubby. But only then can he move out. Now Moon's looking to disrupt that. Mutalisk moving up to the top in the main. 2 cannons standing in his way. And it looks like he's going to go after him. One cannon does go down, the second one does go down. Now, but that bought the time that Grubby needs. He could do a big blink there. Nice blink under the Mutalisk.
Nice blink.
And 2 Mutalisks go down, and the third nearly the same path.
Indeed. Now Moon, I mean, he's done his harass. He's done his harass. He needs to kind of start to create an army. He is lagging a little bit in the army count. Again, Grubby trying to take this bad base. It's so close and it makes the harass so accessible. So Grubby really needs to kind of focalize his units in this middle and lock down the harass of these individual Mutalisks. If he keeps this up, I mean, he's going to be looking in a lot of trouble. And actually, Moon going a ton of spine crawlers yet again. He has 10 spine crawlers at the natural.
Sure. They're good out here. Now the cannons of Moon's base are holding off this Mutalisk force, but Grubby, not waiting any longer, is going to push forward, and that is a lot of spine crawlers, so he's going to have to wait for these Colossus to clean it up.
Blink.
Oh, he could blink up in there, you're right.
He's not
knocking off for it. And actually, he's attacking up against it. Here we go, this could just be it. Grubby pushing for glory. Moon, after that failed cheese, trying to make a final stand. Mutalisk push forward, targeting down the Colossus, but the upgrade's just too good. And Grubby with excellent army control is able to thwart the initial Ling push. And these spine crawlers and their numbers are, well, being numbered.
Indeed, I mean, these spine crawlers are extremely sturdy against this army, and now Grubby sees units are being produced from somewhere else outside of his base, so he might be looking to either deny or something another base. He's certainly just getting picked off.
Again, just trying to get his army under control, make sure that they're safe from those Mutalisks, but also range out those spine crawlers.
Nice.
Now, if you look at the production tab, Moon is just producing more Mutas and Lings, looking for that final answer. The moment the clash is going to happen is going to determine the fate of this game. Can Moon hold? These Colossus are doing some serious work, but now the defenses are down. Grubby is here, Moon, ready or not, and here he comes. Mutalisk pushing forward, trying to single out those Stalkers, blinking back, excellent micro, no more Guardian Shields. And it looks like Moon just doesn't have enough.
Yeah, Moon needs to produce more units right now, but I don't think he can. Now finally pushing in, picking off one of the Colossus. That's exactly what he needs to do, but he has no response.
No, he's got to focus on the Stalkers. He needs the Mutas to win the fight. The Colossus don't matter at this point. All the sentries are gone, so it's a little bit of a bonus, but nice blink, and there's just not enough Mutalisks. It's now down to 14. And these Stalkers have such good upgrades with that 2-weapon attack. Great blink micro from Grubby. And Grubby takes the first game.
Oh my god! Grubby is going to keep up with his winning record against Moon. Really nice play.
Good lord.
Again, I mean, he was so greedy in that beginning, and I thought for sure, okay, Moon Zerglings are definitely going to do something.
He's like, you're really greedy. I'm going to kill you.
And what happened? Grubby said, LOL, force field, and was able to retain his advantage. Such a brilliant play.
And, okay, well, I mean, we're going to just get game number 2 set up. But as we're doing that, I cannot emphasize enough the intricacies that are being at play here. Pulling that Overlord in, presumably as a sack Ovi, into the basic Grubby, triggering the sentries off that line, and opening the opportunity. I mean, if those sentries are at the front line, okay, when the Baneling bus comes, it looks silly. It does not do anything. And because he was able to pull the 2 sentries off, he had a moment there where he could have done it, but actually Grubby, so quick to remake that wall. Those are the 2 intricacies I really want to focus on right now, because if either of those things don't happen, the Zerg wins or the Protoss wins. I mean, it interchanges. Both those players were on the brink of destruction, but they made some brilliant choices and were able to execute. And this game, I mean, it lived up to it. As far behind as Moon was, the choices he made after that opening actually made that game still really exciting. I'm so happy to be here.
It did look like Moon was able to claw himself back into the game. He was on 4 base to Grubby's 3 base, and just constantly keeping those Stalkers in bay.
Yeah.
He wasn't allowing them to leave whatsoever. So really playing quite fantastically. But Grubby just amassed way too many units. He had 11 warp gates out, and if you get that fundamental, that foundation of Stalkers, it's really tough to kill them.
And Greetorp, you could not have hit the nail on the head any harder. It's absolutely correct that, yes, you need a lot of gateways, you need a lot of Stalkers. The blink is huge. For all the Protoss players out there, when you face mutas, there's a very important tightrope you walk, and that is that, okay, the Zerg keeps hitting my base, he keeps stopping the expansion. I can only do this so long before I need to attack the Zerg. Because as you saw, Moon was taking a hidden base, he was taking his 3rd, and that would have continued if the game would have gone on any longer. So Grubby, executing at that exact right moment to say, okay, I've had enough. Yeah. You've sacked my main. You've delayed my 4th. I have to push forward, and I have to make the moment now. If he waits any longer, so the mutas get to a critical mass, they keep trashing the main, he keeps expanding, and then he just drowns them in units.
Indeed, and I have to say the composure with Grubby's Colossus in that front was really, really strong.
Yes.
I think that ultimately gave him the pathway to winning that game. So a really nice first game. Grubby versus Moon. We are going to be going directly into the second game.
All right, we're going to get the countdown underway. Grubby versus We Made Moon. Grubby from Team Grubby. Second map is going to be Crossfire SC. This is match number 2 with Grubby leading 1-0 in NASL Division 1, Series number 1.
Whoa. And we are starting off in the top right-hand position. We do have We Made Moon spawning in as the red Zerg. And in the bottom left-hand position as the green Protoss, we have Grubby.
Grubby.
Grubby
hands Grubby. Married to the beautiful Cassandra. He actually proposed to her at a BlizzCon. Cassandra, a famous esports vixen. She has done a great job producing content for everyone and supporting her wonderful husband. And actually, Grubby told me he can't make it to MLG Columbus because his brother's getting married. So on the one hand, we have a nerd who has his priorities straight. He's going to support his family instead of going to Columbus. It would be like a toss-up for me. Like
it would be tough. I mean, I would be yelling at Grubby's brother saying, why did you plan that on MLG? You know, why would you plan it on my StarCraft agenda?
Love you, bro, but I'm going to have your wedding streamed while I go ahead and make history. But joking aside, Grubby, I mean, again, cannot find... There's no forum post somewhere about a fan that was punched in the head by Grubby, and then, like, there's no pictures of his blurred-out genitals while he drinks a 40-ounce on top of a balcony. Grubby is an amazing, amazing esports diplomat and competitor. Evil Geniuses were really sad to see him go. You know, he kind of outgrew us. He was like, gotta go make history, guys. I'm gonna make my own team. And we're like, cool, man. We're just gonna rule the world. Evil Geniuses is amazing. Now Crossfire. Okay, this is a map all throughout MLG that every time I played against a Zerg or Terran on here, the guy would walk over and say, like, what do you want to cross out? And they'd be like, oh, Crossfire. Yeah. Don't want Crossfire.
Yeah.
So apparently this is a really good map for Protoss. And I feel like it starts with all those plateaus, these raised grounds, and I feel like it ends with the Colossus. But you could say that about every Protoss story.
Yeah, Colossus are going to be super strong on this map, and actually, Moon able to get the 15 hatch out very efficiently.
A little bit of silly business.
He was really, really clever about it, actually. There was an extractor that was made beforehand. Fake Grubby out, and then he was able to sneak a drone to make this hatchery.
Can really we say that Moon's mad? Do you think he's mood mad?
Moon mad?
Mood mad, LOL? I think he's mad.
I don't think he's mad.
Koreans get mad, dude, and when they get mad, their hair shoots up, fire comes out from like either side of their ears,
and their hair turns yellow, right?
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Have you seen this before?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they used to do something like that.
They like shoot laser beams out of their full body into mountains and stuff like that. It's incredible.
Pretty good. A second assimilator is going down. Speaking of shooting things out of my hand, second assimilator is going to go down.
I don't want to ask where that joke's going.
Dude, that wasn't even a joke. It was just
green gas and stuff in your hands. I don't trust it.
Well, the probes are carrying a lot of gas, so there's stuff shooting out of their hands.
This is.
I mean, how else do you hold gas?
To change the rating system on the NASL. Protoss player going for the above ramp blockage. There's that word again. With the gateway inside my score, Zealot completing the wall in. Pretty standard play. This is looking like a 3-gate expand.
Yeah.
But the nice thing about this opening is it can branch off on anything. This could become a Stargate bus. This could become a 4-gate. A 1-gate expand is even something we could see. And honestly, Grubby will prepare builds for maps. So this is not some kind of, well, you know, I've done this once on this one map. No, actually he's practiced this a million times.
Actually, it does look like he wants to pressure a little bit. This one probe is going to go down. And Grubby is actually putting all of his chrono boosts toward his gateway, so he's just getting a lot of units out ASAP.
I like
now throwing down another gateway, and it looks like a third gateway. As you said before, you are some sort of clairvoyant mistress.
You are
definitely very strong in that.
Targeting the drones, but the Zealot gets pinned in the back. Zergling's making short work with the Queen. One Zergling is down, but that's a fine exchange for the cost of a Zealot. The value is largely in favor of the Zerg player. The second Zergling does go down. Another Stalker joins the force here, but that metabolic speed upgrade is going to finish here momentarily. Grubby is on borrowed time. If he wants to stick around, he will lose both these Stalkers.
Yeah.
And right now he's just trying to be annoying. He's doing like momentary damage to a Queen that does heal. Grubby, get the hell out of there. This is like that warehouse that's about to explode in almost every action movie ever. If he doesn't leave and leap at the right moment right now, he will die. And he does go ahead and do that.
Yeah.
It looks like it will be 3-gate expand. We just have the second and third gateway finishing, turning into warp gates just now. Sentries are entering the field. And that is usually the beginning of a 3-gate expand.
Overlord is going to be able to come over here. Now, the biggest thing I can say about Grubby's play right now is that because he went and chose to go ahead and do a little bit of pressure in this beginning, his sentries don't have a lot of force field.
Right.
So it could be very hard to hold this natural. We might see
a lot of
actually
making their way.
capitalizing on it.
Retorp.
Grunt-row.
Retorp.
Grunt-row.
Danger, Will Robinson. Nice. I like Moon probing out here just a little bit, kind of seeing if he's safe. And you know what? Based upon the positioning of Grubby, I feel like he is safe. Tucked away in that ramp.
Really nice play.
And he's just letting him do it. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Scratch the paint on that pylon. I can actually get insurance to go ahead and replace that no crawl. Oh, but what?
Whoa.
An overreaction from Grubby. I mean, I'm almost speechless. He instantly canceled that Nexus, and I really don't like that choice. I mean, I feel like he overestimated the number of those Zerglings. Here's what was perhaps at play. Grubby might have thought that was only half the Lings represented there, and he was thinking, you want me to come down this ramp and deal with you. But I'll tell you what, with that many sentries and just the value of that Nexus going down when it should have, he really should have tried.
Yeah.
I feel like with the force fields, he can create a wall and handle that situation. But you know what? Grubby's going to play it safe. He's up 1-0. No reason to take any risks here, I guess.
Indeed, and we can see Hallucination is going to be able to come out here. Grubby is going to be able to see everything that goes on in Moon's base. Actually, Moon throwing down a couple spine crawlers.
Wow.
But this Phoenix is going to get a good look at everything, and I love this play. Hallucination is becoming the more standard just because it's a fast way to be able to scout your opponent's base.
Now, if you look at the Harvester count, we are up to 50 drones for the Zerg player, nearly twice what Grubby has, sitting at 32 Harvesters. And it shows, pulling in about 500, 600 more minerals. And of course, you know, he's up a base right now. The natural for Grubby is not saturated, but that is not a good place to be in if you are a Grubby fan just at the moment. Burrow, Tunneling Claws, and... Okay, so he actually had speed for the Roaches started, and then he canceled it, and went with Tunneling Claws and Burrow. This is something we saw Idra employ at MLG Dallas quite a bit. It was a bit of a rush. Usually you do it to defend against the Protoss or take advantage of a lack of detection from the Protoss aggressively. And I don't see either of those really being employed here. I don't know how aggressive Grubby's going to be after canceling that Nexus.
Indeed. I mean, Grubby, and especially just on this map alone, again, we were talking about position and mobility.
Yeah.
And Roaches aren't necessarily the fastest units, especially when they're burrowed and off of creep. So it might be a little bit of a problem. Now we can see that Grubby is pushing out a little bit here. There was a little bit of Q, and more Zerglings are going to be coming in here.
Oh, you know what? Zealot blocking the wall. Excellent play. And they squeeze through! 3 Zealots do warp in, and they will help thwart this attack. I'm not quite sure, like, they squeezed through but then couldn't fit. So either the Zealot, like, was sleeping on the job, or he just got fatter in the last moment. And actually, those Zerglings get cleaned up with 0 cost in the mineral line, so...
Wow.
I believe he didn't even kill a Zealot. Did that Zealot survive? No, it did die, right?
It did die.
Okay,
no.
so
Well, yeah, it did die. Excuse me.
1 Zealot for, like, 10, 12 Lings.
Not the exchange you
Grubby
want.
is finding value in places, you know, you could, I mean, again, he's such a superstar. He's like, Lady Luck just sleeps in his... He is a power kid. My God, you're right. We have found another power kid. Ladies and gentlemen, power kid sighting, and I think Moon might even be a power kid, but we have to wait and see how this series turns out. Now these roaches are moving out. Those aren't mohawks on their head. That's actually just... You grow spikes when you're able to move below the ground, apparently, in the evolutionary process. They do not have the speed upgrade just yet, and Aspire is going down for Moon. Pretty standard play, actually.
Indeed.
Minus the Tunneling Claws first.
Ooh, and here they go. They actually burrow right in front of here. And Grubby, he does look like he's moving out a little bit, and like this could spell a huge disaster for Grubby.
The rain.
Oh my gosh!
Down in
just
Africa,
going right around. Just going right around.
Grubby, I'm sending all my positive Protoss thoughts your way right now. Don't do it, Grubby. No, he's gonna do it.
He's gonna do it.
He's walking out.
Oh no!
Like so many landmines. It is not good news. And there they are, underneath his foot. Force fields will not save you now, Grubby. All his sentries are perishing. The roaches burrow for little to no cost, and 3 more.
Stalkers gonna be caught out of position.
Wow. Okay.
Definitely nice play.
Moon?
I mean, the biggest thing in that
good?
battle was the fact that he was able to get those 2-3 sentry kills. Getting the sentries are so huge.
Yes.
You need good retention as a Protoss. Top tier play, you always see the amazing sentry retention. That's what you need going into mid-game.
Well, I mean, they cost 100 gas in the early portion of the game that really digs into your Colossus count if you're not able to get your sentries, or not get, I guess, but keep them alive.
Yeah.
Now, I'm actually going to break away from that thought because right now it's not even about Colossus. We have Blink upgrade going, second weapons upgrade, and Immortals are joining the field. So a bit of a different composition from Pretor. Typically you want to get an Immortal or 2 out, then go Colossus, but I got to say, it's going to be delayed Colossus, if anything, for right now.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm going to shut my dirty, dirty mouth. There comes the Colossus. So actually all it is just a really fast Blink upgrade. And he's not remaking the sentries, and that's how he's able to justify these Colossus counts. So I've actually seen people do this. Kiwi Kaki did at MLG Dallas. He lost all his sentries to a similar play by Idra, and he was like, cool, I'll just make a bunch of Stokers. And he never made any more sentries again, and it was a winning decision. He actually went on to crush Idra in that game.
Indeed, we can see Blink is completely upgraded. Muta's going to get into this natural right now. Going to be able to go into position. I don't know. Yes, he's going to show his Blink right now. Going to be able to blink up and kill only one Mutalist. However, he did damage quite a few of those Mutas. We can see 3 of those Mutas are highly damaged. Still, I mean, Grubby, he is kind of on the back foot. We do see that our Protoss player is 123 supply, whereas We Made Moon, he's sitting comfortably, but comfortably, at 174.
Yep, and those Mutas are going to circle around into the main. Cannon is not finished. Nice blink to get up there. So just a little bit of harass. I really like this Muta group. And oh my god, I like this even better. Ling's swinging around at the lower right-hand corner, forcing the cancel out of that third, and they are delaying the economy of Grubby indefinitely at this point. I mean, it's just really painful. As I can tell you, and I hate to say it, I'm almost like the Joe Theismann of commentators right now, but as a Protoss player, I can tell you, this is painful. You need your third pretty quick. Usually it's about after the first Colossus, maybe the second. We're seeing that being delayed, and Grubby kind of feels it. He knows that his window of opportunity is kind of now. Blinking forward, getting a lot of free lane kills. Again, Moon trying to kill a single Zealot, dude. They're not that important. Muta's swinging around back into the natural, doing some harass, and if you check the income tab, it is 80 Harvesters to 43. Grubby has to do it right now, and he knows it. So here we go. Pushing to the top of that ramp. A lot of roaches are down at the base to meet him, and he's going for it. Guardian Shield does go up. Moon pulling back intelligently. Muta's pushing forward, and here come the roaches.
Ooh, nice roaches.
They're at the base of the ramp, though, and oh my god, a Colossus goes down. How did that die?
There are Corruptors out on the field. Just a couple, though, just 4. But still, I mean, there are a ton of roaches, and this is not looking good for Grubby. Grubby is kind of in a tight spot.
He's got to pull back.
I think, yes, this is exactly what he needs to do. Pull back, just get that higher Colossus count. When you get the higher Colossus count, make sure they're defended, and utilize the map to be able to just force all battles into tight corridors. That's when you can get your AoE.
He knows he's all in, though. He's not even building any probes. He might have caught Moon in a bit of a moment here. Nice force field, forcing him to dig underneath it. But they do move slower under there, so he's taking some losses. Now Moon, okay, well he's maxed out again. Like, that took 2 seconds. He's actually banking money. He only has to survive this fight. He only has to survive this army.
Yeah.
Grubby is just now taking a third on the left side of the map. That too is being snuffed out by Moon. He seems to be everywhere at once. Fantastic scouting. In fact, if you look at the map, every base is scouted. Really, really good play. Everyone can take note by that. Grubby's army seems fearsome. He's only got the 1 Colossus.
Yeah, I mean, you do need a much higher Colossus count. You can see that now pushing into this position over here on the left-hand side. Roaches finally get over here. Corruptors, ooh, going to be able to pick off, nope, not going to be able to pick off 1 Corruptor. And seriously, when Moon loses any amount of units, he's insta-max. He just has all of his units on hotkey, or all of his hatcheries on hotkey, and just says S, H, or R, or V, or whatever he needs to get immediately. He'll get them. Now a huge engagement is coming up. Only 1 force field out, and the Corruptors are going to be able to take out these Colossus, and it looks like these Stalkers are very barren.
That's it, yeah. Even if Grubby digs this battle out, and it looks like he might, those Hydra's DPS doing so much damage. Grubby losing valuable units, and as he loses units, his ability to defend, the left side base goes down, but hold that thought, I guess.
Whoa.
Alright, Grubby's coming out a little bit ahead here, and it's, I mean, look at the production of the Zerg player, though. Yeah, he's up to 153 supply already. Grubby having a tough time handling even just these spine crawlers. Roach is swinging around forward, and nice job by Moon. This is something another little tidbit Zerg players need to do, is they need to corrupt the crap out of stuff. You cannot just have this many Corruptors not doing anything. They need to use a spell. Speaking of Corruptors, that's actually 14 of them. It's way too many. Grubby doing everything he can to survive, but it looks like things are just swinging away from him.
Oh my gosh, and now the 1 Colossus is going to go down. There are no units left for Grubby. Now the probes actually try to transfer, but there are a lot of Roaches and Hydras just going to regroup yet again, as it's 176 supply for Moon to 94 for Grubby. So Grubby in a huge pickle right now. Doesn't really have a lot of sentries. I think that's a huge problem for him.
I guess we got to stop talking about how dead he is, because he's kind of still here. he's got 3 weapons attacked, and he just took his 3rd base, so his economy's actually never been this strong. We do have... Actually, it's still a lair for Moon, so there will be no Broodlords. He's just going to have to rely on his ground army. He is remaxed. I mean, it's 189 out of 200, not quite remaxed for the scientists out there. But I feel like... I mean, he'd do well to have a hive right now. If he had a hive, which he can easily afford, Broodlords would end this game pretty quick.
Yeah, we can see that units are going to be coming in here. Roaches going into a small little corridor. 1 force field goes down very nicely, but still, there are, just looks like there are too many Corruptors. The Colossus go down immediately, and now these Stalkers are just taking over in the entire battle. Look at these ramps
do for the Protoss, though. I mean, he's able to hold this. It's like a 300 final stand. He keeps doing that. With just pure Stalker angle play. Oh, don't go up there, Grubby. Grubby, don't. It's not good. Yep, okay, he's like, alright, never mind. I'll go back home. Still producing the... Okay, now he's switched to Immortals, and I like that. It's a little bit late. When a Zerg overkills on Corruptors like that, if you aren't minimizing their Corruptor count, which he has not been, don't keep making Colossus.
Yeah,
they're just getting fed for their cost.
Ooh,
and here we go, he's going to move down. Corruption going off. Hydra's at the top of that ramp doing work yet again. Roach is trying to squeeze their way down. But these angles, it's almost like Moon doesn't know about the tunneling claws. Like, dude, you can get down that ramp, actually.
Yeah, and Stalker's just doing so well with this bottleneck. Has the superior concave, going to be able to be super cost efficient. And Grubby gonna hold off another battle. What is going on?
No.
Overextending.
Grubby, you can hold ramps. You can't attack ramps. Grubby, you got a little bit grubby there. LOL, so funny. And now the Zerg's pushed down, and then taken back up. Nope, pushed down. Okay, so like all good stories, at the end of 300. Trojans, not the Trojans, Spartans, LOL. They did die.
Yeah, they did die.
Spoiler alert, if you haven't seen 300, or no history, I guess.
But we can see these Hydras are just doing so much damage. Again, Hydra Zergling, such a strong combination. When you have the Zerglings, they tank a lot of damage. There is a lot of overkill by all of the Protoss units that they do on the Zerglings. So really, really nice. But I think right now Moon is in an excellent position. Now finally getting out Infestors.
And here come Infestors in the
so the Infestors are going to be able to just clamp down on all of these
units. There's the Hive, too. I feel like we should be seeing a Greater Spire pretty soon. It is all take another base. But even if that's not the case, he's going to go ahead and push forward. Hydras again. And like you said, the Ling Hydra combo against Pure Stalker is so powerful for Moon. And the Stalker's being pushed back as best they can. Grubby holding on. Where I mean, a lesser player would be dead right now. Grubby is such a warrior.
Yeah. That down,
but he's not able to produce Harvesters. He's been on 50 or so all game long. It's felt like it's one giant prolonged all-in where he kind of expanded. I mean, he definitely tried to attack, but then couldn't. And Moon's just playing the super safe. So Infestors do join the cluster now. There's about 8 of them. 7, actually.
Ooh, and the Corruptors. The Infestors aren't going to be able to come up here. I'm going to get a huge fungal growth on the sentries. Keep in mind, they need 3 fungal growths to take out those sentries, so not the best way to approach that top. But now, going to be going onto the sentries. Now, do keep in mind, if they get a fungal growth on the sentries, or on the Stalkers, they're not going to be able to blink out of that. That's a huge problem for the Stalkers. Now, the huge army is going to be able to come down, kills one of the Infestors, but there are still so many more units.
Just so many Zergs. Infestarians entering the mix, and they actually do a tremendous amount of damage pretty quick. Again, wonderful angles from Grubby and good upgrades, but I'll tell you what, it looks like Moon will be denied no longer. There's the GG. Grubby falls in game number 2. The series is tied at 1-1.
That was unbelievable. I mean, Grubby, I think he was pretty far behind, just starting with that Nexus cancel, but able to stay in that. On top of that, he was able to take out, Moon was able to take out those crucial sentries in the beginning with the Burrowed Roaches. Really nice play by him.
That was huge. I mean, he was just stockpiling advantage after advantage.
Exactly.
And you could really see the cerebral and fortuitous play of Moon doing such a good job expanding. He actually canceled the speed and went, no, I'll go with the tunneling clause. And it was the right call, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, being able to position himself underneath that army and then have the ability to run away going under those force fields was the right call. Moon, a fantastic player. But here's the thing I want to limelight for this, that Zerg players at home need to start doing, and Moon has done this in both games, and it's really shown here, is the Ling base cancellation force, if you will. Protoss does not have the mobility of a Zerg player. When Grubby tried to take that third and use the aggression and strength of his main army to keep the Zerg interacted and distracted in the middle of the map, he had no intention of defending that right side base. He really couldn't, because he would have left his main and natural vulnerable. Moon exploited that, and it won him the game. So please, look to exploit the mobility of the Zerg player. That's my advice to Zergs.
Really, really strong play, I thought. And then Moon was just able to extrapolate his advantage into a win. And Grubby actually held on for quite some time, I thought.
Yeah, I feel bad as a caster. We were like, he's dead now. No, he's expanded.
Yeah.
He's dead now.
He was on the back foot for that entire, probably more than half the game. But then was able, again, to just claw himself back with very, very efficient battles. And really speaks a lot for Grubby. So we are going to be moving directly into Game 3 now. It is going to be on Backwater Gulch.
Or Glutch.
Or Glutch.
Glutch, Clutch, Gulch.
Gulch, Glutch.
We should have said that. It's actually confuses now forever.
Backwater Glutch.
Sounds like something a bird does.
But we'll be moving right into there. We'll catch it in. All right, so we're going into Game 3.
I don't want to count it down.
Game 3 of the Grubby versus Moon, the Epic Series. Grubby is 1-1 against Moon right now, and it is going to be absolutely epic going into Backwater Gulch.
Again, something I think a bird would do. Just going to put that out there, see if it catches fire. Maybe go viral a little bit. Top right-hand corner, we do have the Protoss player, Grubby. Morphing in. No, I guess they warp in. And in the lower left-hand corner?
Lower left-hand corner, he's morphing in.
Morphing
as the red Zerg. Moon is going to be cross positions with Grubby. That's going to make it very
Sand green
nice.
Zerg. Can we call him that?
Sand green?
Yeah.
That's kind of awkward. I don't like
I want to
sand.
see you try to say that word.
Sand green?
Yeah.
Are you trying to tell me to say sangria?
No.
I don't drink sangria.
Well, you shouldn't until you're of legal age and graduate from college.
I did both.
Good.
Thank you. You didn't congratulate me, though.
I guess a little bit of the game. We do have Grubby going with the above ramp pylon. Again, pretty basic. If you look at the map layout here, the natural area does not lend itself to fast expansion builds. A lot of cannons would be needed to both secure the ramp and the expansion area, but there's also the structural rocks that allows for even a backdoor to that. So you won't see a whole lot of forge first expansion builds. Now, Moon going with the fast gas, and this time I think it's for real. It's for keepsies. We do have that spawning pool going down at 13 again, and that's pretty quick. I think the standard, I want to say, is 15-14, somewhere there and about. So, not the biggest deal. It's a drone or two faster, but you'd be surprised what a difference that makes to the builds. I don't think the Lings get there in any particular... There's not really a timing there.
No, there isn't. I think what these Zerglings are just going to be doing is making sure, hey, if you ever do a Nexus first, I'm going to pounce on you very easily. And Grubby has been one to be a little bit, cheeky with his builds. He does some
odd stuff.
And he's been taking some very, very bold moves. And I think Moon is a little bit compensating for that. But Grubby is just going to play absolutely safe this game around, throwing up a cybernetics core.
And Grubby's patrols are awesome. Built a little house.
Why not?
I don't know. I just don't do that. We see Huck makes smiley faces and hearts from time to time. Grubby builds houses. He's actually such a humanitarian. Now, the Zerg player going with the metabolic boost upgrade, pretty standard. We've actually seen this a few times out of Moon. If we could characterize his gameplay in the last few series, it's been pretty straight up. Of course, with the Baneling bust in that first game. But honestly, before people jump on me and call me a jerk and a poopy face, I will say that the Baneling bust, even in and of itself, could be considered basic. He saw a Forge First fast expansion. His hatchery went down at the same time as the Nexus completing. In facing that, one of the few ways you can kind of equalize or stabilize the game, if not win it directly, is with that Baneling bust. So I feel like that was pretty straight up as well. Lings making their way across the map, going to go ahead and poke up this ramp and see, okay, Chrono boosted the gateway and the Cybernetics core, Zealot blocking the ramp, pretty standard. He does want to see if it's a Stalker or a Sentry out here. That will give indicator whether or not it's like a 4-gate or if it's some kind of 3-gate expand.
Yep.
It's, of course, not a hard sell, but it is a mini-truth, if you will. Both players are going to be looking to do that here in a second. I really like Grubby's active probe, making sure that expansion is down, kind of getting a last gander, and then leaving here. Now, he will actually also see when the Zergling speeds up and sprouts wings, not because of Red Bull, because of the metabolic boost upgrade. There it is. So, good information from his probe, extracted very well. And again, Grubby just kind of shaping up to do what I would only presume to be a 3-gate expand. If he was going to go with a 4-gate, it would have already been down. We do have him stockpiling minerals here, getting ready for that expansion.
Yeah. Now, I do want to say that how Moon's going to be playing this map out a little bit differently, just because every expansion that he takes is going to be closer and closer to Grubby's base. So what that means is that he's going to have to play a lot more aggressive, because he can't let Grubby get the momentum, that huge amount of units, to be able to just push out and just kill his expansions. The more expansions, the later on this game goes, the easier it is for Grubby to go ahead and push. So Moon is definitely going to be looking to sort of end the game a bit earlier, because Protoss is known for the pushing race, the end game race, to just overpower with amazing units.
Yep, I can see what you're sipping from. I can see the glass. Second gas going down at the expansion before we made Moon. Just powering drones pretty hard right now. Hallucination does go down for the Protoss player. Again, we've seen Grubby employ that a few times here, making sure to keep tabs on his Zerg opponent, kind of finding out whether or not he's doing some kind of cheesy 2-base all-in or actually macroing up. We do have this Forge blocking down the right side tunnel. I really like that. In fact, I'm going to steal that. You heard it here first. Just kind of narrowing down the options for the Zerg player to make it into that Protoss base. And here we go, a little bit of a push. Now this should not be any kind of major attack. In fact, we can already see a segment of the army pushing back. But it's really good to stay on top of those towers for chunks of time. Just making sure the Zerg player is not comfortable just sitting back droning up all game long.
Indeed, and we can see a fast hallucination coming out from Grubby. This Phoenix is, or the hallucinated Phoenix, is going to be able to come in here and see exactly what's going on with the Zerg base. I like this, just checking if there's going to be a third. Now, that's the biggest thing. You don't want a Zerg to, magically get another base on you. That's a really, really bad position. We can see he's going to be able to get it here and see the third and fourth gas is going to be taken. So, as a Protoss player, what are you actually thinking when you see the third and fourth gas go down in this time?
Well, actually everything he saw is pretty dang standard. He did not see an evolution chamber. He did not see like a fast spire or Hydra den. It's just to sustain the roaches, but of course we're coming up to that kind of branch-off moment where the Zerg will decide, am I going to do like Roach Corruptor, or am I going to do Roach Hydra, or am I going to go into some kind of weird spire tech, that kind of stuff. So you want to build up the gas a little bit before that. Of course, the gas isn't just to sustain the Roach production. But Moon doing a good job kind of keeping tabs on his opponent. Just taking a standard third over here, and I really like this from Grubby. Does Grubby see the expansion? And yes, he does. Okay, so he poked up there just enough to see that third hatch go down. So again, all things pretty standard, and that's actually really good news for Grubby, because one of the things you got to know going up against Moon is of the Korean Zergs who can pull a fast one on you, Moon is up there. He's actually a tricky son of a gun, and he will do some stuff that will give you headaches.
Indeed, and Grubby does look like he's just going to continue teching up, going to be getting those Immortals out. Does look like he's just getting this huge ground army. No robotics bay is going to be going up, so Colossus isn't a huge priority for him right now. Looks to be a very standard map. I think he's blowing down these rocks just to go ahead and expand if he wants to, but I'm not sure exactly where he's going to go, as I think he needs to deal with something of this third base pretty fast.
Well, okay, I mean, it's the same build as that game number 2 we saw. He is going ahead and getting his second Immortal out. This time I'm going to check. I do not see a robotics bay. Confirm, please.
There is no robotics bay.
There is no robotics bay. Now, the Zerg player is also taken bottom right. And that is dangerous for a couple of reasons. If this is just a delayed Colossus build, like he's going to go a couple of Immortals, then the robotics bay, with Blink and that kind of stuff, I feel like that's not optimized. I feel like that's kind of a timing build done macro, and I feel like he'll miss his opportunity. So we'll see if he actually branches off and makes that choice, and either makes himself or myself look like a fool, either one. But there is no Colossus here. We do have 2 Immortals, and the Zerg's about to take a roaring economy. He's sitting at, well, actually only 59 Harvesters, so he's actually got to make some Harvesters.
Indeed, and I think with this Observer, it does look like Grubby does want to go ahead and actually not push out. He's going back to his main. I'm not sure what he's doing exactly. He's kind of confused me, but I think he's getting Blink, and he's going to go when Blink
You know what? That's a lot of gateways. This is the time. Oh, gosh, dang it. There's a robotics bay as well. All right. Grubby's just kind of rewriting the tenets of Protoss right now. I would look at this much production and say, you can't macro off of that, but he tried, at least in game number 2. So Blink is about to finish. Weapons upgrade is about halfway done. Grubby actually banking a little bit of money. He has torn down the rocks on the lower right-hand portion of his, they call it like the Mega Plateau, the Mega Ramp area. And I feel like that's a good staging point for him to take a third over here. And actually, look at this. This Hallucinated Phoenix is going to go ahead and find out that a 4th base is underway. This has got to trigger a reaction from Grubby.
Yeah.
When you see that right there, you have to say, I got to attack, or I have got to expand. And there it is. There's the expansion. So Grubby has made that choice for himself. The expansion is going to be his third, but it's awfully late. So I feel like he's actually going to just go ahead and do like the Mega Base style. Like, he's not going to go out there until he's maxed, I feel.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I like this too much with Grubby. He knows he's already behind 1 expansion, so to be behind 2 expansions and then say to myself, oh, I'm going to go ahead and react with an expansion, your economy is much later than your opponent. Yeah. We can see because of that 181 supply, 236 for Grubby, and it does look like Moon wants to push out right now. I'm not sure exactly what he wants to do.
There's a Zealot lower hand right corner.
Oh, okay.
I guess he was just kind of making sure that Zealot did not see the light of day after that moment. Look at this little cannon up here, too. That's so cute, Grubby. Why? Why the one cannon up here?
Why not?
Well, it's like a toll booth. But Grubby's going to go ahead and get that super army maxed up. Stalker's making the way. He's got to be careful, okay? Backwater Gulch is a pretty open map in the middle area. A Protoss does not want to fight there if they can have their say. You want to fight in smaller, more cramped spaces, so those Colossus can do that stack damage, and force fields can be more effective for fewer casts. So that third has completed. We're waiting for it to be saturated. Stalker's blinking down to join the masses. There goes that Congo line of probes, and that's good. That will actually bring his economy up to about 60 Harvesters versus the 78 of the Zerg player. But it looks like the time is now. Moon is pushing over. He is max. There is a small contingency of corruptors. Never mind, hold that thought. There's actually 9. That's a great number. Toll booth will go down. It did trigger the Zerg army up there, though, so a bit of a blunder by the Zerg. He did not need to kill that cannon with such ferocity, I suppose. Ferocity. And it looks like he's just going to go back. So a little bit of a poke. He's actually taking a 5th base in the mid-left and a 6th base.
6th base.
He's got to stop expanding.
So again, Grubby looking to just go to this 200 army, not really actually investing too much in Colossus. I think the Colossus are just saying, hey, make Corruptors, and you're going to be really inefficient for the ground. But now just going to be starting to meld his mass Stalkers, mass gateway units, really. And I think that's why he has so many gateways out. He just wants to keep reinforcing this army as it goes into endgame.
That's so smart. That's on-the-fly choice-making, because in that game number 2, Moon overmade Corruptors. He had like 14 versus maybe 2 or 3 Colossus at the most. And Grubby, my God, I will eat your shoe if you're actually doing this on purpose, and you're so smart.
That is a very awkward thing to do.
I'm in mad love with him right now, though. It's worth it.
Ooh, but 4 chainlings.
Wood chip, actually. He makes wood cheap. But the changelings did pick that off, and that's a really good thing that you point out there, because that means they're looking at the Colossus going, you son of a, you cheeky man. Because right now, Grubby is actually stuck, or not Grubby, but Moon, stuck on 9 Corruptors. But I'll tell you what, that's not overkill. That's about the right number.
Not at all. Not at all. And we can see a little bit of push up to this top position. Again, Grubby is max right now, but he is kind of torn on. He doesn't have a great direction to push, but this is exactly. He needs to be cost efficient with his army. That's what he needs to do.
Yeah.
He needs to be able to take out all these.
He might
Hydras
broadside the Zerg army. Oh, never mind. 2 ships passing in the night. Very, very friendly ships. Now a 3rd Colossus does join the Protoss army. I think that's about the right number. DT's touching down. Now here's the specialty unit. This is going to be a little bit of an X factor. If you look around the map, this is actually just the time that Moon is kicking in the DT defenses. We have 2 Spine Crawlers and Spore Colonies going down. Yep. But that's not the same at every base. So actually it's just that one over there, and it's natural, oddly enough. So DTs are going to cancel out these 2 left side bases, or at least delay them. Another DT making its way to the lower right-hand corner. That one's not going to have such good luck. And here we go. We might have a big altercation in the middle of the map. Both armies are maxed. Grubby sitting at 3 upgrades. Meanwhile, the Zerg player's only on 2 range attack upgrade. No armor. Armor's just about to finish.
And he might be looking to actually
counterattack. And he hallucinated Void Rays. I like that.
He's going to be counterattacking.
Oh, big counterattack. And this is kind of an interesting choice. I think Grubby's making the right call. Just head back home. He can actually even warp in DTs, which he has done. Nope, never mind. There's an Overseer. Those aren't going to do too much damage. And Grubby has got to make his way back home. If he cleans up this army, he could be in a commanding position. The Zerg will fall down to 4 bases because the left side is being collapsed by those DTs. But hold that thought. He could get this natural. And that's where the majority of Grubby's Harvesters are. This is really interesting, Greenwood.
Indeed. I mean, taking out this economy is going to be very strong for Moon. But he has to make sure that there's enough time in between each attack. You can see Moon is all the way down at 128 supply. This is the big counterattacking time for Grubby. Grubby needs to attack right now, and he's going ahead and attacking the left-hand side. I love this play. Now, he's going to
but he's got to ignore it. No, you got to ignore that, Grubby. Go for the gold, man. It's just like 7.
Yeah.
Well, I guess he has supply block, so he can't call in reinforcements, so I actually do like that he's doing that. But Moon has got to start making units. A couple of Nidus Worms did touch down. I think he's just trying to keep the Protoss player on his half of the map.
Yeah,
but
indeed.
Grubby.
Ooh, and going to actually go to the bottom right. It does look. Oh, these roaches that are bird are going to be found. Now, again, Grubby needs to be very careful. He is being denied so much. And
really smart choice.
Ooh.
And actually, he's going to reveal him. I don't like that. Don't show him. Make like 40,000 of those things and then show him. But he really wants to cancel that base out, so maybe he's got to show him, I guess. But pushing out. Now, these DTs can turn into Archons. That's really important for the Zerg, or excuse me, for Grubby, because if these mutas get out of hand, he's going to be locked outside of his base for a long time. Or in his base, I suppose.
Indeed, and it doesn't look like the bottom right-hand corner, Grubby is trying to deny it, but the mutas are going to be able to kill everything. Meanwhile, the mutas are trying to do a little bit of damage to this expansion on the left-hand side, but not going to be able to be enough. And again, Grubby
doing
shutting,
a great job.
Yeah, really, really nice play by Grubby.
Lings and Roach is making their way to this right side base. Moon actually might just be everywhere at once. Only one cannon stands between this base and total destruction. Stalkers making their way over. Nice blinks to get over there fast. Lings cleaning up the probes, though. And Grubby's economy is shrinking. Meanwhile, there's Mutalisk on the left side of the map. Kind of staring down that natural. Actually, a lot of Mutalisk making their way over there. And Grubby's economy is starting to turn to shambles. But Moon's got to clean this up. He's just kind of idly attacking. Yep. There we go. Now he's moving to the Stalkers. A couple of cannons. Mutalisks are not that hardy, especially in the late stage of the game. They don't have a lot of upgrades. And Grubby doing a great job getting over here as fast as he possibly can. Man, Moon, you are going to give me a heart attack to play such an exciting brand of StarCraft 2.
Oh my gosh, so Moon, again, oh, the bottom right was taken out by a lot of Dark Templars. I did miss that. That is a huge pickoff, and Moon is only down on 1.5 mining bases. Grubby just playing phenomenally. Now going for the counter attack.
Oh my god, they were almost isolated for a second. If they die, that could be it. Ling's making their way to this right side base. Grubby partially mining from 2 bases, but you know what? He's closing in on the only mining base for Moon. This could be it, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to come down to this base right here. It looks like Moon actually might be peeling back and relying on his speed. He's going to surrender this base. It will collapse uncontended. Ling's moving into that, I don't even know what to call this. I guess it's the 4th base, but those cannons are well positioned. And they do thwart those Lings, so they're actually not going to do anything.
Unbelievable.
And DT's clean up that right side.
Yep, DTs have been the heroes. The Blade Master is showing.
Zerg has a better army, Greetor.
Whoa.
Broodlords are... They might have no answer. He blinks in! No! But they're spread out! And the mutas are crushing them!
Oh, this is really
That could have been the biggest mistake of this game.
Back up!
We made Moon needs to pursue this army and crush it.
Oh, wow, and even more mutas come in here. Broodlords are going to join in. There are so many mutas in this army. Colossus aren't going to be able to do anything against air.
Oh my
god. Going to send this back. Oh my goodness. Complete air dominance by Moon.
That was such a mistake by Grubby. Blinking in, trying to kill those Broodlords. And now he's just funneling Stalkers towards this wood chipper of a force of mutas, and they are grinding their way across. Oh my god. Okay, so there are DTs on the map. This is it. Grubby has got to hold. If you look at the harvester count, Zerg is on 26 drones versus the 41 of the Protoss, and Grubby is mining from 2 different locations. So he does have some income coming in here, but he has got to find an answer for those Broodlords because they are... I mean, at this time, they're sharking around to the top left, and there's not going to be an answer for them.
Yeah.
They're going to be able to shoot down from that high ground, and the mutas can protect them. I feel like this base is about to meet its maker. And the right side, look at that. Mutas there as well.
Unbelievable.
That base is going down as well. Grubby had this game in his clutches, Greetor.
Definitely, and now Grubby looks like he wants to go and deny this left-hand position. He is going to be in position to be able to do that. Meanwhile, Broodlords are just doing so much damage against this Natural. The Natural is going to cease mining for a good amount of time, but the hatchery in the left-hand corner is going to be denied very nicely by Grubby.
He's got another base on the left side, but it might be just too little too late, and actually they're going to die if they're not careful. They have been detected. Doing a lot of damage to that spine crawl, and they do get it, but these Mutalisks, oh no, and they found some Immortals and Zealots in the middle of the map. Stalker's moving out there to try to go ahead and thwart them, but he's got to be careful. This Mutalisk force is superior in a lot of ways. Yeah. He cannot afford to just throw out Stalkers, and look at this, Moon closing in on the Natural. This is the final base of Grubby. It is only represented by a handful of probes. He's now fallen down to 11 harvesters in total, and Grubby has no income. If you look at the production tab, he's actually bringing in no money whatsoever. He's not producing anything. And he's got to be sitting here wondering how the hell he lost this game.
Indeed, now we can see a lot of Zerglings and Mutas going to be closing in, oh my gosh, from 3 different sides, and going to be trapping all of these Blink Stalkers in. GG coming out from Grubby. Moon is going to take the series 2-1. Such an epic series. I mean, Grubby played phenomenally in Game 1, and then Moon was able to just reverse kill. Grubby takes it down, or next switch that he did, the Broodlord Mutalisk, Mass Broodlord Mutalisk was just fantastic. The Colossus were able to just have too big of a hold on the ground, and
amazingly
that just did it.
And it also, to bring up one last point on that, the blink. Okay, so when you see Broodlords, you gotta blink under them and you gotta crush them. But when there is Mutalisk in support, and we saw the blink was botched. He had some units on low ground, some on the ramp, some even didn't make it into the combat. He got cleaned up, and those Stalkers represented his ability to counter that air superiority. And once he lost the girth of those units, it was it. Now, he had 2 other mining bases. He was up in bases against the Zerg player.
Yeah, there was no need.
It was just that army.
Indeed. So a little bit, but, you know, Moon played fantastically. Grubby played fantastically.